Hey everyone, for today's video, with the Shangri-La crossover dropping in a couple of days, I wanted to talk about one of the characters coming in part 1, and this video is going to be about SUNRAKU. Starting with his kit, he's a fire human, and his slots are 6-star physical, 5-star support, 4-star physical, and 4-star heal. They're all really solid slots of course. The heal slot on LB7 is nice for sustain, although like usual, I think LB7 should only be for dupes, since multiple of him aren't too helpful. For his skill, it gives him 30 arts or 60 if it crits with an 11-second CT. Not bad for sure. Arts on skill is always nice, and being able to get a max of around 5.5 arts a second at best isn't terrible. For his arts, it does 27,000 fire damage physical, and for 25 seconds, it reduces the enemy's physical resist and evasion by 50%. This is definitely really unique, and the debuffs last for quite some time as well. The physical resist is helpful to make everyone do more damage, while the evasion debuff is really nice on higher evasion stages, and considering how rare it is to have that as a debuff, it's nice that it's in his kit if you need it. For his true arts, it does 70,000 fire damage physical, and for 25 seconds, all allies get 6 arts a second, and it lowers the enemy's crit resist by 100%. It's type E Argen as well. This is definitely the craziest part of his kit so far. He gives an unconditional 150 arts to the team, which, if I'm correct, is the highest of any unit in the game. And if that wasn't enough, he debuffs crit resist, which is nice to allow the team to crit, especially when paired with a crit rate buffer. It's basically Ainz's true arts, but better since, as I mentioned, it's unconditional, meaning that he can be used for this ability on nearly every single team in the game. For his super art, it does 160,000 fire damage physical, he gets 100% crit rate and 50% super crit during the super arts, and then he permanently increases his attack by 50% per super art up to 200%. This is definitely unique as well, because as some people have mentioned, it is fairly reminiscent of War God Fenn's super art, although this has a slightly higher chance at super critting, and the attack buff is permanent, which is solid for sure. This will definitely see some insane numbers, more so when you stack him to max though. For his passives, he gives all fire allies 15% damage resist, he has 40% evasion up, and increases his skill CT by 50% near death. The passive damage resist for fire allies is actually insane. As if being an insane supporter wasn't already enough, he now gives damage resist, which basically makes him the go-to supporter on a fire team, and it's fairly similar if you think about it as well to Summer Iris, who I believe he should stack with since they're unique passives, meaning that those two on a fire team are giving everyone 45% damage resist just for free. The evasion is actually fairly high all things considered. He'll definitely evade a bunch of attacks, which is cool I guess. The skill CT is interesting, although I could definitely see some cheese happening by using Grief, in which case his skill would go from 11 seconds to 8.25 seconds, which makes his skill give around 7.3 arts a second, and with Grief basically 9 arts a second. That is considering you can keep him near death, but regardless it is a choice, which is definitely nice. In general, SUNRAKU is definitely looking like a really strong character. He's one of the stronger general supporters we've seen for a little bit, being able to provide a ton of AoE arts, lower crit resist, as well as function as a DPS. He also has some other debuffing potentials, including physical resist and the rare evasion debuff, which is nice for nicher stages. His passive damage resist for fire units means that he's pretty much going to be a staple on future mono fire teams. Run him with units like Summer Iris and Valentine's Priscilla, and your mono fire team could have a base of 75% damage resist without a single defense item. That's not to say he's locked to a fire team by any means of course, because his true art being unconditional just makes him like Ainz if he weren't team locked, and with how much SUNRAKU is providing, it's pretty easy to see him being used in nearly any and every comp. He's definitely a really nice unit, although I wouldn't say pity worthy in my opinion, especially with Stargalt Lisa coming in roughly a month or so. So I would just do your summons for him and then maybe even some paid, but I wouldn't go all the way in pity. Let me know what your thoughts are about him down below though, and whether or not you're going to summon for him. If you did enjoy, be sure to like and sub for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.